Oh no, this just looks disastrous. Neo.
A little bit of a
Made it
stumble
into
in
the
there.
zone. Did make it into the zone.
Oh.
130 to the dome on ear light. Out of mats. Literally zero builds.
Doesn't matter.
He didn't go back in for them.
Too many players literally drop.
Oh my
What?
God. He has 17. He has 17 limbs.
It's a shooting gallery in front of Neo.
He has 17 limbs.
Shot after shot after shot. Players stacking up on top of each other.
Is this for real right now?
Jack, it's real. This is not a dream. Another shot. The tiny angle goes for the replace. Said builds up above. Challenge from outside as well. Chance, spray the wall down. He's looking for any damage he can sneak in.
Dude,
last second.
So good.
Takes a big hit on the rotation. He's gonna have to pop those minis real quick if he gets a second here, and this might be the only time he's gonna have between now and the end of the game.
He's out of builds again. Burn through those 500 materials very, very quick. 5 players left. Make it 4 as he hits the shots. 18 limbs. 19 limbs!
2 players left.
No!
20.
My gosh, Neo! 20!
Give me 21.
Don't do it.
Give
Don't
me 21.
Do it. He's got a family,
Oh,
Neo!
you got it.
For 21 and the victory royale. Can he get it done? He did it! He won the game! 20 eliminations and the win! A 30-point performance! He just popped off.
Jack. I wish if you're, oh man, I wish if you're at home, the timing of saying popped off, Jack shot a
Fortnite Nerf gun.
Rated Nerf gun into the air in celebration. I don't know where that dart went, Jack. That might be the only one we had.
It was. It was. Wow, what a performance right there.
You know what's crazy about that Nerf dart shot is that's the only hit you had the entire time you've been here, both on the cast, in terms of gameplay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Jack. I had to do it to you.
You know, it's fine. It's fine. I'll be the human, punching bag to make everyone feel better about
Can
themselves.
we get 2 more falafels for Jack, please? Some of these late games, when everybody's boxed up next to each other, that tac shotgun, Golden Boy and I talked about it earlier. The combat shotty is extremely good, especially if you're very
High ground.
Oh my gosh, almost had it. Multiple players up top. The tac shotty, though, the rate of fire is just so good. Even that little bit faster than the combat shotgun, you get a chance to just knock as many shots out as possible. Could be big. You have 3 players vying for the high ground. Bo, Tilt. I believe this player all the way up top, Tuxie, gets caught off guard there. Tilt almost falling down, catches himself quickly.
There's the 2 riffs. So Tuxie drops in this game in 7th without using a single one of the 2 riffs because he had high ground the whole time. He never wanted to use it because of his high ground placing.
Now at this point, this late in the game, those riffs might not even be used.
Nope.
You put yourself up in the air like this, you're gonna find yourself in a storm or beam from underneath very, very quickly. Tilt just above his opponent, vying for high ground here. Gets the edit. It's dropped underneath.
Chance box up.
The full shield.
That's how he's trying to save Mats. Oh, that was a panic build.
You see, he stopped.
Yep.
Built. Oh man, that was close. Bo does have the RPG out still. Still has ammo. Looks like Tilt's vying for the high ground. Meanwhile, stealing dubs in the mid. Armand,
It's like
Hunter,
3
all the way to the bottom.
2v2s. Or 3 1v1s, sorry.
Armand on the bottom. We're gonna pick that one up. Doesn't go for the shot, surprisingly, and Hunter does get a hit in there. 70, the quick in, and Armand goes down. Are you kidding me?
There's an upgrade right there with the shotgun, but it looks like Hunter doesn't even care about it. Just needs to keep on going. Zone at his back.
Oh,
Steel
my
cut
gosh.
down there by the combat shotty. 4 players left. FaZe, Tilt, Hunter, Dubs, and 1 more player on the high ground. It's Dubs and Tilt, both members of FaZe. 1 dropping on in. Tilt with the first elimination. Dubs now just a layer above. We still have time to pop these minis. Or sorry, pick up the minis and pop them. Doesn't appear so.
Bo in the middle.
Yep.
1v1v1. Tilt all the way in the bottom. Gets a big hit there. Finds the siphon. It's a 1v1. FaZe versus FaZe. Dubs with a big shot there. Tilt down, no shield. 69 HP, and there it is. Goes for the edit, and Dubs drops on the outside. Picks up the victory royale. No surprise, honestly, from Dubs putting on a good show.
Right now, he's arguably one of the most consistent players in the world with how he's been doing in these weeks. I think when you look at standout performances, the E11 duo from Europe.
Shinkin and Stompy.
Yep. And then in solos in the US, it's Dubs. I mean, by far. There's no other way to put it as we continue the action. Player who actually qualified last week, 100 Thieves Cease. On your screen, they got first in the qualifier round, and then first the day after. Pretty crazy performance because we talk so much about consistency. I mean, you can't get more consistent than first twice.
100 Thieves has a history of picking up players that kind of fill that role too. Would not surprise me if that continues. Cease here, 2 eliminations, 160 total. 1 shadow bomb, no medal, which honestly late game can be kind of a detriment, especially when you have a lot of players that are going to try and start applying pressure for position here, take ownership of services. He's going to build his way through. Cease owning all the walls, going for the replace here, gets it. The shot, here we go. 1, the follow through. That drum gun pressure. W key, left click, see if you can get the hit. Going in, and there it is. Dakota goes down. That honestly, it is so difficult to stay built against pressure like that.
And that was another one of those moments where you saw Cease was like hesitant to just dive into the box, was staying on the one wall, and was also playing far enough back between the 2 builds where if a trap went down, he could dodge it from the back, or if it went on the opposite wall, he would dodge it from the far side. And then once he realized that no trap was placed, it's like what I discussed earlier with Sundown, where it's like, wait, if this guy hasn't placed a trap yet, and I am an inch from being inside of his box and eliminating him, then he just doesn't have one.
Yep.
And then he finally calls for it, pushes on through, and gets the elim. It's something that I've noticed these pro players doing more and more. It's like, all right, you've had every reason to throw out a trap, and you still haven't. I'm just going to call the bluff and say that you don't have one.
Honestly, I blame Scissors a lot for that. The death runs, man.
Made everyone elite at
testing trap baiting. Yeah, oh yeah. Every single player that did that is now a professional at testing for traps.
He's got another one on the way. Talking about it yesterday, actually, playing together. So I'm excited. Those are always a good time to get the community all together. But Right now, cease.
Nothing like a community rage to just bring us all together.
That might have been the most PG way of describing Scissors death runs.
Yeah.
Wow, always a great time. Really does bring the community together.
Yeah.
Go look at my thumbnails and titles from those videos, and you would have thought that I'm like I'm not on speaking terms with Scissors. But for real, always a good time. Cease showing off the drum gun, decides to take some storm hits just to guarantee he gets that elimination. As now in the top 25. And a quick box. Well, you thought maybe a free elimination right in front, but can't hit the shot.
Don't blame him for going for it. For a little bait opportunity, he's going to peek out. Gets 29 on the shield. Rotation in there. 170 total HP. Let's have a campfire. 95 builds. Not in a terrible spot. He's going to have to move forward in this storm, and hopefully he can find a player on rotation here and get a shot off. Did take 22 damage in the middle of that. 4 elims. Still branching his way in, looking down from above. Has a handful of players underneath. Goes for a quick edit. That drum gun pressure comes in big there. Finds the elim, the storm claiming the last little bits of HP there. Gets a shot on the back of a player rotating in front of him. We have a chance here for Cease to make yet another play. He's just in front of a handful of players. Almost no shield. Meanwhile, the top up here, we got Cowboy. 100-100 right now. Be very careful. You don't want to get trapped up there. 24 builds, he's down to just wood remaining, editing his way back down. Doesn't really want to push for pressure right now. Does not have the builds to counter it. Does get a little bit of damage there. Walls it off and quickly moves forward.
I like that he didn't tunnel vision. He knew that the player in that net box next to him was probably basically just one shot.
100%.
But he did start to get tagged and realized, nope, even though I want this elim, I've just got to give it up. There, now finally gets it. Showing off the range of that combat shotgun, the weapon that has absolutely taken the game by storm in the last couple weeks here in competitive. Turns back around. Is there 3 players in this box? Oh, still gets hit by the trap, though. 2? Down to 2 HP.
Oh, please build from behind there. Moving in, Cowboy does go down. Christian all the way at the top. Snood from Ghost also. You see what Snood's doing?
Yep.
He's keeping the Shadow Bomb running still. Until he touches the ground right there, it's not going to wear off. So long as you're still able to continue jumping over and over and over again, you're still flying with it, it'll keep you invisible, which is incredible. And Snood's placement of that was perfect.
And when we talked about consistent players in solos, Snood is right there too. Someone that I think everyone has their eyes on to qualify very, very soon. Definitely one of the top players in the world. Snood still alive in this one. 3 players left. Crit, Andrew, and Snood. Andrew down on the low ground, Crit on the high ground, Snood. Now Snood's on the low ground as Andrew builds on up.
Little trade back and forth there. Crit does have the ultimate high ground. Quite a few layers there. The drop in, Andrew going for the elim and does catch Snood off guard. Almost boxed up inside together. Crit all the way up top, looking for a shot down from above. And here we go. A little bit of pressure from the top. At this point, when you have the 2 players that are left fighting underneath you, there is no reason to hold back, and Crit sees that. But a few shots. He does have a ton of medium ammo there. 474 shots. But he's not alone. The drum gun from the bottom. Andrew, 4 elims, Crit with 3, a big point game, actually 33 and 32 points. This is going to be a big shift for both players, regardless of who wins this one. Crit looking for it, layering up, double layering every chance he can get. Andrew, down on the bottom, staying with the circle. Build still here. Crit is totally out, but Andrew has some. They're in the same box. The trap fight comes out. Andrew places one through, and Crit picks up the elimination.
Just wasn't enough. He was not ready for Crit to drop on down there. He's just tunneling. Next thing you know, Crit realizes, oh, Crit, I'm out of materials. I've got to go for it. You always love to do puns, Zeke, and guess what? I just did one there.
Oh, man. It warms my heart when people decide to opt into the shenanigans, the lifestyle that comes along with it. It's usually fun, humorous, and everybody loves it. So, hashtag Fortnite World Cup, join in on the shenanigans, because it's very fun.
Well, apparently I'm not everybody then.
Some people don't like that fun, and that's okay. That's their right.
Instead, I prefer to break down the awesome Fortnite action that we ended up just seeing. And honestly, the first one we're going to start out with, Bala, how's it feel to be on the other side of the coin, my man? I mean, typically it's you up here breaking down other people's gameplay, but you put on an absolute clinic. We might as well call this little review, please, Combat Shotguns, the use cases. As Bala, from top down, is immediately putting in shots. And you can see here, he's constantly looking back towards the backside backside of the circle with the aim down sights. Now, whether that's holding your L2 or your right mouse button or however you have it bound, it tightens up the spread and makes the already tight spread of the combat shotgun that much more effective as you watch Bala from the very beginning all the way to the end, working top, down, and cleaning up the victory royales. Brilliantly done there, and pushing himself up as the second caster to win on the cast. But now, Neo Ruch, Nick Merckx' partner and long-time buddy, putting on a clinic here with the combat shotgun and the rifling skills. And again, it's all about taking advantage of the eliminations as players are rotating away from the backside of the storm. Look how much action is occurring there as players are forced forward, and the ones who are aggressive and ready to go can capitalize. And also, really heads up play here from Neo, knowing he attacked the other person down and just gotten a chip, not panicking, holding that person out of the zone, and then brilliantly cleaning up for the victory route. Now, Tuxi here, a great play, and the one thing I want to note on his position, if you look in the bottom right, he is constantly not only on one of the higher areas, not ultimate high ground, but he's over on the side of the zone. What this does is it allows him to basically cover one rotation in that circumstance, the other guys on the high ground, and then gives him free range for the rest of the zone as they rotate through, picking up elim after elim, not only with the combat shotgun, but also with the rifle, and you can see him here picking up poach. And this was why normally you look down and you're like, hey, 2 Riftigos, maybe you should have used those. But if you already have the power position, you don't want to give it up, because those are times when you could be going and could be getting elims when you don't need to get away. He does a great job of picking it up. Unfortunately, though, because he didn't use those and he had used so many shadow bombs earlier, Tilt ends up going and picking him up. Dubs then gets the revenge onto Tilt, cleans it out, and closes out the 1v1. And one thing I want to talk about, the casters kind of hinted at it. Dubs' average placement in the Sunday finals is 3rd. He has 1-1, he's placed 6th, and then he's got 2nd place in another one. That's absolutely nuts. Across the globe, nobody else has a higher average finish on Sundays than him. However, 2nd place for that is Snood, who's sitting at just under 12th for his average Sunday finish. So brilliantly done there. Let's take a look at the leaderboard now. As we're getting towards the back half of the games, you can see most people above 5 games played. Right now, Hogman sitting in first, 57 points, and a decent spread from 1st down to 10th, where Blake is sitting at 43. So 14-point spread there. I know Hogman's definitely glad to have the vehicles back. He's one of the guys who, when you watch him rotate in a baller, it kind of looks like other people haven't ever picked up that vehicle before, just because of how precise he is. So showing it up there, but also great run from Tuxi and Neo Ruch to be able to push themselves into that top 5 today.
There you go. Well, guys, don't forget, today is just for qualifying purposes, tomorrow's finals. So in case, for whatever reason, you're not familiar with a lot of these names, check them out. They've got Twitters, they've got Twitch streams, YouTube content to look at. Definitely take a moment and give them a shout out. But we're going to get back into some games. Let's send it back over to the Chicken Parmesan squad to get us into it.
You know, I just want to put this out there. In games that I've won, my average placement is 1st, so in your face, Dubs.
Ooh, that is true. In games that you've won, your average placement is 1st, because that's what happens when you win. In Fortnite Battle Royale, the ultimate Battle Royale experience. You're now back for week 7. 40 players left here. Dispatient in his box, looking for anyone that would peek in front of him. Soft Aim Champ just quietly sitting on that medal.
Just hanging out up top. Dispatient, the shop from above. Good night. Do you think that any of these players have funny, quippy things they say when they get an elimination? Like, hey, better luck next time. Stuff like that, Jack?
No, they don't. They're here to be serious. They're not content creators like us, Ben. Okay, we have fun. We do community service like we play with Tim the Tapman. Okay? Now, Kado, currently set up, has this kind of low ground peak where he's looking for anything he really can. Thankfully for him, the TAR, as basically I do work, has coined it, the TAR, the Tactical Assault Rifle, uses small ammunition while the drum gun uses medium. So we'll be able to use both those sparingly to make the most of those 120 shots of each type. 101 builds left, and ooh, free shots there on a jaw. And just like that, now up to 192 health.
101 builds. Does have that rift to go.
He's got to go.
Look at him. Look at the second rift over there.
It's like a bait, though, huh?
Oh, no. Or maybe an opportunity to bait the loot. Goes for the shots. Relentless actually picks up everything in there, and Mags gets the wall edit, pushes in. The trap play from Kado does push Mags back out of the box. Kato's able to rotate away just a little bit. I don't think that worked out exactly as Kato had planned.
No. And the issue was that loop was so open that everyone could see that, like, and he wasn't the only one shooting at that player. So he knew it was a risk to go for it there.
The second you push out for a loop pile like that, you're asking to be shot at from everybody that's watching from above. Kato, the launch pad in the inventory, still does have that one rip to go to. 32 players, 23 points so far for Kato, and 93 builds in the inventory. Trying to make your way to the forefront of the safe zone at this point. Probably the most important thing you can do. You want to get ahead of the zone so that by the time the circle closes, you are either already safe or